1858, Beaumont Plantation. 3 generations of loyalty, 1 hidden war. Subscribe now, the clock is running.
They called the Callaways devoted and safe, cook, stable master, and valet, trusted inside the house.
But loyalty was a mask, devotion a performance, hiding a plan measured in decades, not days.
I am Isaiah Callaway, 28 in 1858.
It began in 1798, when my grandfather Cyrus watched a betrayal turn mercy into punishment.
Samuel built a hidden refuge under the barn, a sanctuary, until someone exposed it.
Master Richard ordered 200 lashes, not correction, but erasure, and forced Cyrus to watch.
Samuel died that night, and his final look carried one message: make it count. At the grave, Cyrus swore slow revenge, earn trust, learn weaknesses, dismantle the legacy.
Step 1 was access, so Cyrus became cook, moving from fields to the Beaumont table.
He served with perfect manners while quietly studying appetites, ailments, and private habits.
He wrote everything in code, harmless kitchen notes that mapped their vulnerabilities.
20 years passed, and the journal grew heavier, line by line, secret by secret. Cyrus taught my father Jacob, knowledge is power, patience is the blade, silence is survival.
When Cyrus died in 1838, he passed the journal and the burden to Jacob. Jacob loved horses, and the Beaumonts made him stable hand, then stable master.
He learned bloodlines, injuries, temperaments, and profit, then saw the family's weakness. Their wealth rode on horses, racing glory, breeding fees, prestige, and reputation.
So Jacob began sabotage, subtle pairings, hidden flaws, failures that arrived years later.
A colt looked perfect at 2, then broke down at 5, and no one saw intent.
Losses piled up, races were lost, buyers looked elsewhere, and money drained quietly.
Jacob acted disappointed, loyal, diligent, the perfect shield for deliberate decline. He kept a second coded journal, which bloodlines were bent, which futures were ruined. In 1850, sick and dying, Jacob placed both journals in my hands and gave orders.
Charles Beaumont has a weak heart, Jacob said, and diet can make it worse. And Charles plans a desperate bet, one race to restore everything the family lost. Jacob bred a horse for that moment, Midnight Runner, beautiful, fast, and doomed.
The flaw was hidden in breath, a respiratory weakness that breaks in long distance.
My job was simple: become Charles's valet, guide his habits, guide his choices.
I entered his life in 1851, close enough to touch his clothes, his schedule, his trust.
Charles seemed enlightened, educated, and calm, which made his trust feel heavier. I watched him daily and noted cravings, stress, routines, and the signs of his heart. I fed him comfort disguised as care, rich meals, heavy fats, subtle pressure over months. Each suggestion sounded harmless, each plate looked ordinary, and the damage grew quiet.
By early 1858, his heart was weaker, and his hope was fixed on one win.
I began praising Midnight Runner, training speed, perfect form, the champion he wanted.
Charles leaned in, desperate for reversal, and my calm certainty pushed him forward.
In June 1858, he pledged everything, mortgages, savings, pride, all on that race.
I felt guilt flicker, then buried it under Samuel's grave and Cyrus's vow. July 15th was coming, and the plan looked flawless until a mistake appeared. It did not come from me, but from the person I least expected, my sister Danina.
Danina was 15, a maid, invisible to whites, and I kept her outside the plan.
But she watched me and sensed intention and wanted to help with dangerous innocence.
She told a field hand named Thomas, thinking trust was enough, thinking fear was small.
Thomas panicked and chose self-protection and reported it to the overseer, Morrison. Morrison carried the rumor to Charles. Diet manipulation, the race, a family conspiracy. Charles rejected it at first. Loyalty felt real, and betrayal felt impossible.
Then Danina was questioned, frightened, untrained, and she tried to explain justice.
She spoke of Samuel, of lashes, of vows, and the secret broke open in daylight.
I was summoned to the study, and Charles stared like a man waking from a dream. He asked for truth, and I chose it, because denial would only delay the inevitable.
Yes, I said. 60 years, 3 generations, working to destroy your family.
Charles went pale, and the room felt smaller, as if walls heard every word.
He named the methods: poisoned meals, sabotaged horses, financial ruin, and I agreed.
I told him Midnight Runner would fail, and his bet would end the Beaumont fortune.
Silence followed, then something unexpected. Not rage, but a hard, tired clarity.
Charles refused blood, refused punishment, refused to repeat his grandfather's cruelty.
He said slavery breeds enemies, and this system manufactures revenge like smoke.
He admitted Samuel's death was evil, and said he would break the cycle now.
He offered freedom, manumission papers, for me, Danina, and the remaining Callaways. My mind split in two, Cyrus's vow on one side, the door to life on the other. I asked for time, and Charles warned the offer would not stay open forever. I found Danina crying, sure she doomed us, and I held her shoulders steady.
I told her the truth. Her mistake created a chance, a confrontation, a different ending.
She listened, hope rising through fear, as if sunlight could reach the quarters.
That night I weighed revenge against freedom, purpose against exhaustion, justice against rot.
Revenge had given me direction, but it also chained my life to the Beaumont name. At dawn, I chose freedom, not to excuse the past, but to end the trap. I returned to Charles and accepted the papers and watched ink change our fate.
He signed calmly, hands steady, making a choice his neighbors would call dangerous.
For the first time, I spoke his name without titles, and the air felt new.
But freedom held consequences, and Charles's mercy drew attention like blood in water.
Neighbor planters threatened him, warning rebellion, warning precedent, warning social exile.
Charles stood firm, insisting slavery was wrong, and that change must start somewhere. Pressure tightened, business cooled, allies vanished, and stress attacked his weak heart.
In September 1858, Charles suffered a massive heart attack and survived, weakened. Visited with food prepared by others, and my guilt sat heavy and quiet. I admitted my manipulation, and he answered without anger, only resolve. He said he knew the cost, and still believed mercy was the only exit.
He spoke of redemption, of choosing differently, of refusing to inherit cruelty.
Autumn arrived, and the plantation felt haunted, not by ghosts, but by consequence.
In November 1858, Charles's heart failed, and the house fell into mourning.
I attended the funeral, carrying grief and gratitude in the same breath.
The Beaumont estate was sold, wealth reduced, status broken, though not as we planned. Our long conspiracy succeeded, yet mercy changed its shape and changed its meaning.
Denina left with me, and we walked away from Beaumont land without chains.
Freedom did not erase pain, but it created space to build, to learn, to heal.
I kept the journals, not as weapons now, but as warnings, and as history.
In the years after, I became a teacher, helping freed people read and write.
I taught letters, and also lessons, that revenge can consume generations.
I told them patience is power, and silence can be strategy, but hatred.
I told them Denina's mistake saved us, because it forced truth into the open.
I told them mercy is not weakness. It is a decision to stop feeding the fire.
Some nights I still heard the barn, the lashes, the vow, and the long, cold plan.
But morning always came, and with it, students, books, and a future not owned.
The story spread. Callaways outsmarted Beaumonts, yet chose a different victory. People asked for the journals, and I guarded them, because knowledge can cut both ways.
I wrote a third journal, my account, the choice, the cost, and the turning point. I explained how trust can be weaponized, and how confession can change an ending.
I described Charles's face, betrayal, and understanding, and the moment he chose mercy.
I described my own fatigue, the years of acting loyal, the constant watchfulness.
I described the temptation to finish revenge anyway, and the discipline to stop.
Freedom demanded courage, not the loud kind, but the steady kind, day after day.
In time, our community built schools, churches, and homes, and the fear eased slowly.
Children learned names once forbidden, letters once denied, futures once impossible. I watched Denina grow into strength, and her shame dissolve into hard-earned pride.
I watched former chains become stories, then lessons, then warnings for the young.
Still, I never forgot Samuel, the carpenter who tried to save lives in secret.
His refuge under the barn became a symbol, a small room that started a war.
In class, I called it resistance, not with rifles, but with planning and courage.
Thought that systems collapse slowly, first in secrets, then in choices.
Charles's choice proved one person can refuse inheritance and refuse cruelty.
My choice proved revenge is not justice,
and freedom is not surrender. Years passed, and my hair grayed, and the journals aged like dried ink. In 1895, at 6'5", I felt life thinning and gathered my family close. I handed them Cyrus's code, Jacob's code, and my own plain words. I told them to remember the plan, but never worship it, because it nearly ruined us.
I told them justice must build, not only break, and dignity must be protected.
I told them to honor Samuel by creating sanctuary, not by chasing enemies forever.
I told them to use knowledge for liberation, not for endless scorekeeping.
I asked them to teach, to vote when able, to defend each other with learning. I asked them to stay wary of praise from power, because praise can be a leash.
I asked them to recognize masks in masters, in systems, and in themselves. My grave was placed in free soil, bought by freed hands, shaped by freed dreams.
The stone carried dates and one line, 3 generations planned. One mistake changed everything. It was not a clean ending, but it was real, and reality carries mixed weights.
The Beaumont name faded, the Callaway name continued, and the lesson remained sharp.
Revenge offers purpose, but it also steals your years and makes your enemy your compass. Mercy can feel impossible, yet it can stop a chain that otherwise never ends. Danina's secret taught me humility, because control is an illusion under oppression. Thomasel's betrayal taught me fear can twist people, and systems depend on that fear. Charles's mercy taught me some people wake up, even inside rotten structures. Cyrus's vow taught me love can turn into a weapon when grief has no outlet. Jacob's sabotage taught me intelligence can harm, and intelligence can also heal.
My teaching taught me the future is built sentence by sentence, like coded notes.
Every classroom felt like an answer to the barn, an answer to the grave. I never forgot the taste of acting, the careful tone, the obedient posture.
I also never forgot the first day I spoke freely, and nobody could stop me.
That contrast is the story. Bondage creates plots. Freedom creates choices. If this story moved you, subscribe now and stay with us for more hidden histories.
These are not legends of monsters, but of systems and of people navigating them.
We tell stories of strategy, moral cost, and the hard work of ending cycles.
In the next episode, we go deeper into secrets that survived, because silence did.
Comment your thoughts on justice and mercy, and share what story you want next.
Remember this, resistance has many forms, and the quiet forms can change everything.
One vow began the war, one mistake exposed it, and one act of mercy redirected it.
That is the Callaway legacy. Patience, intelligence, and the choice to stop the fire. Outside Beaumont, rumors spread, and some called us villains, but freedom demanded honesty.
I never pretended our hands were clean. I only insisted the system was dirtier. People wanted a simple hero. Yet history rarely offers clean lines or clean hearts.
Cyrus taught patience, but I learned restraint, the skill of stopping before ruin. Jacob taught strategy, but I learned release, the skill of walking away alive. Danina carried blame, then grew into wisdom, proof that errors can become doors. Charles carried guilt, then chose mercy, proof that power can refuse tradition. The journals remain, coded pages of survival, and a warning against worshiping revenge. They show how trust can be exploited, and how exploitation plants its own downfall. They also show how one honest confession can shift violence into something else.
If you create stories, study this structure: hook, pressure, mistake, reversal, consequence. Keep the voice steady, keep the cuts sharp, and let tension rise through information. Let the audience feel the trap closing, then open one door that changes everything. Now subscribe and join this archive of untold histories, built for cinematic listening.
Next time, we follow another quiet war, fought with patience, not gunfire.
Until then, remember this: justice builds futures, revenge repeats graves.
This was the Callaway story, and the lesson still breathes, even today.